To be honest with you, when Helena asked me to come to Monroe, the reason I came to Monroe was the people that are here. I talked about tenure earlier, and 2 of the sales reps were interns for me. Created a great relationship with them. I trust them. So the nice part about that is I would say we're pretty much a family at that location. And I think the community can see that, whether our growers run into us, we'll give each other a hard time once in a while, but when it's time to work, everybody picks the ball up and helps one another. And I really like that.
So people help solve the problems. Technology and innovation are outputs of really good people coming up with solutions.
If innovation stops, we all stop.
Our people come in every day ready to make that difference.
Over the next 10 years, the world is predicted to be at 10 billion people. We are going to have to feed those people on less acres and less resources.
I often say the impossible just takes longer. We make time to innovate those impossible tasks.
We don't believe there's anyone in the industry that's got a better portfolio than we do.
Innovation. It's what we do. It's everything that we do here.
My name's Steve Bailey. I am the branch manager at Helena Agri-Enterprises.
My name is Stephanie Weiss. I'm an agri-intelligence technician, and I'm from Monroe, Wisconsin.
So my name's Ryan DeBusk. I work at the Helena Agri-Enterprises here in Monroe, Wisconsin.
Been a local Wisconsin kid my entire life. So my role at Helena in the past 2 years has been the branch manager at the Monroe retail facility. A lot of the things I do there is purchasing fertilizer, manage the sales team, our precision agri-intelligence individuals.
I take care of all our agri-intelligence solutions customers, and that is what we call our whole farm. So it entails the soil sampling, tissue sampling, fertilizer recommendations, the seed scripts, the data management. We'll also do scouting as well with that.
I started right out of college as a sales rep, and then as it's kind of expanded, a lot more customer facing and taking care of the needs of a lot more customers.
So I believe Helena products are different than others is we have a research facility down in Memphis, Tennessee area where we will research something 3 to 5 years before we actually bring it out full scale to the growers.
How I develop my trust with my growers is consistency. Always being there, answering phone calls, and I make sure they know that I'm doing this for you. So whatever you want, if there's something we're not doing that you don't like, or is there something you want to do differently, we can cater to you however you want.
Once you've worked with a grower for a long period of time, their trust in you and the relationship you have lets you try new things or kind of look at different ways to go about doing what they've done on their farm, and it just builds that relationship between you and a grower.
It's not set in stone like we're doing it this way and this is the only way we're going to do it. We're going to do it however is best for your operation, however is best for you yourself, and for your budget.
Steve Earleywine. I'm a farmer here in Broadhead, Wisconsin. Don't give me two questions at once. I can't.
Talk about the history of this farm.
My grandpa bought the farm in 1935, so I'm the 3rd generation. So, how many years have I been farming? I was born here, so I'd have to give away my age but I started farming, with my dad and my brother right out of college, and then in 1980 we went on our own, and been farming on our own ever since. So that's a lot of years.
I'm Kathy Earleywine. I farm with my husband Steve in Broadhead, Wisconsin. Steve has loved farming his whole life. I also grew up on a farm in western Iowa, and so I've always loved farming too. When I was in college, I told my college friends that I was going to marry a farmer someday.
My classic statement is I never farm any more acres than what my wife can handle. So, but no, her and I basically run the whole operation. She does all the bookkeeping, but it's not just that. We do everything together. Come planting time, she's tends the planter and whatever, and through harvest, she's my semi-driver.
And we make it work with just the two of us because we just enjoy being out and about and on the farm, and we love it out here.
I think it's definitely not an everyday dynamic that you see on a farm, but him and Kathy definitely do everything together, hand in hand. So when we come sit down and talk products in the spring or fall, she's always there at the kitchen table with us. And then as you kind of see them out in the field, they're always doing everything together. So for a couple that has farmed their whole life, do everything together, they don't really have any outside help or hired help, it's just the two of them. So it's really kind of impressive and neat to watch them work together and see what they do on their farm, just the two of them, and how well they make decisions together and work together as a team.
Well, the biggest agronomic challenge I have here is this farm sits on real heavy clay, but my total operation, I go everywhere from clay to peat to sand, not only farm to farm, but within a field. And so it's difficult I don't have just one flat black field. We have all sorts of variability within each field and from farm to farm. And so that's been the challenge, is to try and farm that the most efficient way possible. So
I'd say this region is pretty diverse. We've got anything from Tamasilt loams, which will hold on to water a little bit better. There's clay in the soil, and you might go 15 miles and run into beach sand. So it's a little bit different than some of the other territories in the Midwest that might have a lot more water holding capacity. So it allows my team to adjust.
I want somebody that totally understands my operation and what I'm trying to accomplish, and what what our goals are.
We collect all of his data, his planting, his yield, his spray applications, fungicide applications, and we put all of that data together and kind of make a plan for next year.
They're taking that, and we can kind of have a full circle approach to what they need on their farm, and then we overlay a lot of our applications and trials in AI 360, which is our software platform. And they would take that and overlay yield and trials and actually see what's making a difference on their farm.
Anything to deal with the data and what precision, we think about precision as being the equipment that collects the data, as well as the data that delivers the data, like recommendations that are made to make an application in the field. So the data is basically the information that's being collected, which is really our focus of agri-intelligence.
It's nice having AI 360 to house all of your data into one place. You can do yield by reports, planting summaries, and we can overlay anything and everything.
I've gotten to know him and his operation, and tying in the agri-intelligence piece of it. We've really kind of built what works best on his operation, and he's a grower that is always wanting to innovate and look at what new products and solutions are out there.
It's wonderful for Steve, so he has somebody to talk to that knows what they're talking about rather than just bouncing off ideas off of me, because Steve is always on the computer looking at new and innovative things and things to better improve the farm. And so it's nice that he can bounce those ideas off of people at Helena.
Well, it's been really much more efficient to bring it all in under one roof rather than me trying to do something and have somebody else soil sampling and somebody else applying products, to be able to bring that all together, analyze it, and figure out what we're doing to help improve the efficiency of what we're doing.
He likes making data-driven decisions, so it's easy for us to all sit down together at the end of the year and go over everything together. Big way that the HPG products work with Agri-Intelligence is with our tissue sampling. We found on Steve Earleywine's one of his fields at his tissue sample site, we found that he had a deficiency in magnesium, and then we decided to end up foliar feeding off of that magnesium. And there's a handful of growers that I do that with, where they're low in K and we'll foliar feed K-leaf Versa, or even high phos. There's a bunch of different ways we can use tissue samples to help bring HPG products to the field.
And when you talk about innovation, we look at that and find out, okay, one of the changes we made this year was we noticed that nitrogen was dipping a little bit low in the early stages of growth before the side dress kicked in, and so we put some Coron in with the post-emergent herbicide, and then through the tissue samples we were able to see that it did get a response from it.
Coron Metra is unique in its controlled release nitrogen. That extra boost of boron makes a big help in finishing out crops and their pollination and yield.
That's part of I've been, they've been receptive about is just, let's try this and then let's analyze it and see if it is working,
2 years ago, HPG came to us and wanted us to trial a HPG product that was coming out. We chose Steve Earleywine as one of those growers to test out this product. It is now on the platform as Inertia, and we chose Steve because he's got the planting data, the harvest data, all the information we would need to compile the information and the data to see how the product worked.
Great part is they have the staff to answer any problem technically that I have, whether it be, fertility, herbicides, weed problems, disease problems.
A lot of people don't realize how technologically advanced a lot of the farming practices have got. So a lot of that's the precision side, and some of the agri-intelligence pieces that we use kind of helps innovate what we're doing, and then a lot of the products that we use to kind of increase yields as we go through every year's challenges.
Innovation means that you're always growing, right? So if you don't continuously try to do better, my grandpa always used to say, if you're not doing better or changing, you're dying. You're either going up or you're going down. And so to me, changing is what are the new challenges we run into, whether it's a disease challenge or how do we work with that plant to make sure that it's growing better.
Innovation is creating new products, better products that do a better job for the farmer, provide better value for the farmer.
Continue to look for innovation. We look to drive that forward to be market leaders. We have the unique position to have a lot of collaborating partners with us that offer us new technologies.
How creative you are. How can you take your creative ideas and implement those out into the world and give back to the world? How can you give back to the world?
From our point of view, innovation has a lot to do with the data and how are we using the data? How are we making tools that like reports that help drive decisions, reports that help us look at the data differently. That's going to ultimately help that grower make the best decision on his crop for that upcoming year.
To me, innovation is just efficiency, trying to use modern technology, using those products to become more efficient in our operations. So
Technology and everything is evolving daily. That's what my role is trying to do, and we're trying to make data-driven decisions on these farms and help the grower make these decisions on the farms and help them with the transitions into evolving and all the new products, ideas, and methods.